Well, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. This is Go with the Flow, our self care awareness edition, and we are talking about being authentically yourself. This is kind of a runoff from last week's show when we were talking about family does not have to be blood. So, with that being said, I would love to say welcome to my wonderful co-host, Miss Lisa Dunn. Miss Lisa, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Despite all that's going on, I'm doing well. So, but God is good all the time.
All the time,
Yeah.
God is good. But
Yes.
you know what? With that, whenever the obstacles and everything come across, I always say thank you for choosing me because that lets me know that I'm something. And because a lot of people, and that goes to being authentically you, to understand who you are. Because sometimes people's like, oh well, I'm not enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. You actually are. And a lot of times when we're going through those things, God is saying, look, I'm trying to show you. Do you understand the reason why you are going through this? Do you understand that I really want you to come home to me, depend on me, and realize who I made you to be?
Right. Right.
So, how do you feel about that?
Because for me, when you said what you said, I always tell myself and people, even people, whoever I'm dealing with, whoever I'm talking to, whatever's going through in my life, I always say to myself, "You was built for this. Don't let this get you, girl. You was built for this." So, and the reason I say that is because I feel like I can go through anything. And I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't bother me because I'm human, but I know I can get past it because I know who I am. I know whose I am, and I know the faith that I have, not in me, but the faith that I have in God. And when I lost my mom, that was, the worst thing that ever happened to me. But
Mm-hmm.
I knew then, if He can bring me through that, then I can go through anything. So every time I go through an obstacle, every time a struggle comes, every time something just starts to bother me, act like it want to put another gray in my head, I always say, "Girl, you was built for this. You was built for this." And it's just, every time I say it, I just smooth my way through it. And it's not me; it's just the grace of God.
You're absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
And it took me to lose my mother as well for me to understand that's where everything came from.
yeah, yeah.
Because when I lost her, I was like, "Oh Lord, what am I gonna do?" And I started calling on people,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody I called on, they were like,
Showed up.
"Nope, nope, nope, nope."
Nope.
So that's when I realized, like how we talked about last week,
Yeah,
blood doesn't have to be family. No,
exactly.
excuse me, family doesn't have to be blood.
Right.
So I thought, all of my family members, my bloodline, they were the ones that were supposed to be there. I'm grateful that they were not there. Don't get me wrong. I was hurt in the beginning. I was confused. Now I'm so grateful because with them saying no, I was able to form my own spiritual relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
I was reminded my purpose and
Right.
whose I am and who I am.
Right.
So that's why I was like, okay, so being authentically you is who I have to be because they kept telling me you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't. Well, if I were you, and now when I hear people say that, I look at their life and I'm like, well, shouldn't you have? And I'm like, instead of you telling me what I should do, shouldn't you get your life together?
Right.
It's
Right.
all of those fingers, that are pointing back at you.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, people that really try to tell you what you should do the most, when you look at their life, most likely their life is not together.
Right. And another reason you'd be sometimes so glad that family didn't help you is because you don't want to have to hear it the next day or down the line. Remember that time I did this. Remember what I did or I didn't do or how I helped you. I don't want you to throw up nothing in my face. If you've done it for me, then you should have done it out of love. If it was another reason that you done it, if it wasn't out of obligation or a reason that you felt like you needed to do it, if you felt that you had to do it because you was obligated to be me, do it because you're my sibling, then I don't want you to do it. I want you to do it because of the love you have for me, or because of who you know who I am, and you know that I would do it for you or whatever. Don't just do it for me because you feel like you have to, because then I don't want it, because I don't feel like it's genuine that way. So
Yeah.
sometimes when family do stuff for you, you want to be leery at it, because you know you're gonna hear it. You're gonna
You
hear
see,
it. You're gonna hear it again. And
I've
so
heard that.
I'd rather not you do it for me than for me to have to hear it down the line.
I've heard that from people. Well, I have to do this because this is my family. I have to do that.
Yeah,
And then as soon as they finish, they start complaining about it.
yeah,
Well, I didn't want to do this. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell? Because that's my
yeah,
family member and I
yeah.
have to. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah,
But
I
yes, I
remember
do.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
the programming tells a lot of us we have to do it because it's our family.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So,
Because there's so many people that want to just take out these certain verses of the Bible and use those verses as control instead of reading the entire chapter. And that's what I keep trying to tell people. Read the entire chapter for yourself. Because once you start reading for yourself and you form your own relationship, you will understand that what we're doing, a lot of us, what we're doing it's wrong. It's wrong. And that's the reason why we cannot be happy because of the programming has us living in something that's not for us because it's not real.
right. And I always tell people, a lot of times when I talk to them, I say rituals plus religion does not equal relationship.
Yes.
We can do rituals and religion all day. So many of us are religious and churchy, but if we don't have a relationship, it doesn't matter. All that other stuff, because when you have a relationship, that's when you go outside of your boundaries for other people. That's when you go and pull your sister up or pull your brother up. Now, I mean in black and white, I mean color, black, your sister and brother in Christ, your
Mhm.
sisters and brothers in this
Yeah.
world. You pull them up when you have a relationship with God, because you understand the significance of love. That's the agape love. If you ain't got that type of love, then we're not doing anything for each other, because if we really have a relationship with Jesus Christ, then it's easy for me to help you. I don't have no strings attached to why I'm doing what I do for you, no other than because I love you, because He loved me. So when we understand that rituals and relationship is nothing, it does not equal a relationship. I mean, rituals and religion does not equal a relationship with God. Then we got to go back to the basics and find out what is it going to take for me to live this way that I'm supposed to live, because every now and then I don't like helping family, or every now and then I don't want family calling me or asking for anything, or I don't want to do this to my help my enemy, because last week these same people that need me today were the same ones I heard talking about me last week, or somebody else told me. If we got to play it like that, tick for tat stuff, I ain't gonna help you because you did this last week, or I ain't gonna help you because I remember the last time I helped you, didn't pay back. If I gotta remind you of all the things that you have done, then I don't need to help you. I need to go back to the basic, and go back to where I need to find a relationship, because through relationships is where you start to love, and your love starts to go abroad. And you know, even though you may have a small circle, when you start to love, your circle gets bigger, because I can love you even though I don't hang out with you. But if you need me, because of the love I have, because of the love I have for myself, because of the love I have for Christ, I can reach out and help you without any problems. Or you can reach, or vice versa, you can reach out and help me. So that's when we begin to understand what relationships really are and what they really mean spiritually and mentally, physically, for our good, for our body, for our health, then we will understand what it really means to help one another, to pull one another up, to be my brother or my sister's keeper. That's how I look at it.
So true. And the roosters are really going crazy right now.
Ah, I hear him.
Yeah.
I hear him.
Um,
You're in the country.
yeah.
I like country life. I love it.
I
I
love it.
love it.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes.
You know, so okay, but being authentically you, that's where some of us we miss it because we feel I can't help them. the people that's calling on me because I have to help my family. My help only goes to my family. I have to be specific and I have to pick and choose. But then, when the struggles, keep happening and nothing never gets better, or it may get better just for a little while, and then it comes back to, oh, here I am all over again. Well, are you doing things because this is what you're told to do by your program, because you're supposed to only help a specific circle of people? Or like you're saying, love. It's about love. I'm doing this thing now. It's called parking lot love. To where
Mm-hmm.
I need to post my pictures on my YouTube channel, but it's like just strangers. We're having 30-45 minute conversations, all different nationalities, and then at the end of it, we're taking pictures, and the words that we're taking pictures that we're smiling about are two words: either blessings or love.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. But yeah, I mean, it's strange that even with the pick and choose or whatever, it's so you have to look at people motives, because some people know you can help them, and they get themselves in binds or in situations where they know I could have prevented this, but I know my cousin or my sister or my brother, my sibling, whatever, has this. So if I mess up, oh, I can always call on them. It don't always work that way, and you just can't keep, riding a horse without stopping and giving something to drink. You gotta. Sometimes you gotta say, okay, well, hey, I dug this hole for myself. I called on my family last time. I just can't keep calling on them, because sooner or later it's gonna make you feel like you're being used by your own family. And nobody wants to feel that way. Nobody wants to be in a spot where I ain't coming around them this week, because every time I come around them, they want some. You have that attitude, and that's not the way you're supposed to be with family. Money or material things should not come between you where you don't want to spend time with your own family, your own siblings, your own circle, your cousins or whatever, your family. But sometimes when a person see you, they always want your pocketbook. They don't want to just, hey cuz, or hey sister, brother, hey, let's hang out this weekend and just do nothing. All of us get together, hang out. No, 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 I ain't hanging that because you up to something. Somebody wants something somewhere, and they don't told you to tell me, and now you trying to fix this up. We ain't never did. You think like that sometimes, because it feels like every time somebody get in the bind, they run into you. And it shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't have to feel that way. But when a person in your family feel like that you've come up, like Breezy and George moving on up, when you've come up some, people try to make your pocketbook their pocketbook, and it don't work like that. What you have, they want to have, and it don't work like that. What I'm doing, you can't do, because I may have the money and you may not. So don't try to live at my standards or do what I do if it ain't gonna break me, but it may break you. Don't do it. Don't do it just because then you're gonna come to me trying to get you out, or I'm gonna come to you trying to get out when I know I shouldn't have done it anyway. So that's why a lot of times we have to be careful on how we lean on family, how we deal with family, because everybody in your family ain't gonna always do justice for you. Because sometimes your family gonna be the first one to go out there and talk about you. So you have to be careful how you deal with family members, especially those that have something, and you know they have it, and you just mess up your own finances or whatever because you know that you can get it from them. It don't work like that. So yeah, family can be your worst enemy. Family can be your best friend as well. But it's up to you how you take it and deal with it. But for me personally, family is the last people I want to talk to and call. They're the last three people I want to call and tell anything about my life, about what I'm struggling with, about what I need, because I don't need you in my business. I don't want to be in yours. I don't need you in mine. If I'm dealing with something that I know I can't handle, I'm going to my friends, and I have very few. But I know if I go to them, I can always count on them. There are some family members I have I can go to, and it'll never be sad. But then there are some I wish I would. You know, it's just the way it goes. You know, and so that that's not for me. I would they a lot of times for me. If it's a big situation, they will be the last people I call. And if it's small, little small stuff, oh yeah, I may call you and say this and that. But if it's something major or big, you're the last. My family, the last people I'm gonna call. I have some friends that I feel that I got sisterhood with. I grew up with. We could talk about anything. We could share anything. Cause sometimes I don't share everything with my family, but I have friends that I share more with than I do my family. So yeah. So sometimes it don't always have to be family. Blood, that's blood that we
So
grew up together and hung out and fought together and grinded together, and now we're like family because we've been through the storm together.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like myself with my, and I call them the three amigos, and it's crazy.
Uh-huh.
We've all been best friends, and I'm the mutual best friend of all three of them. So
Oh, okay.
if I need something, all three of them, they're gonna, between the three of them, they're gonna help me through whatever I'm going through.
Yep.
Um, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Those are my sisters.
Yeah.
Like I said, they came from way back, 30 plus years of being my best friends, my
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah.
Um,
Growing up with them. Yeah.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is, when it comes to family, I feel, now I'm just speaking again from my own self experience.
Uh-huh.
My family, they were used to me, being the go-to person. Then when I ended up with cancer, stage 4 endometriosis, and lost my ability to walk and all that other good stuff, it's like they forgot. They forgot those three. Those, it was mainly two though. The main two, they helped me through a lot of things, and then it was strangers, people from my previous jobs. I had built relationships with, even some strangers I just met, in the parking lot, or in the grocery store or something like that. It was not my family, and some people's like, well, you don't even know these people. When you understand how God works, the only thing you really have to do is pray about it. And back then I was that fool. I didn't even pray about it. I was just like, okay, well, you know what, you here for a reason.
Right. Right.
And I hope don't excuse me, I hope don't nothing happen. But now I understand, really, before I even step into a situation, it's real crucial for me to pray about it, because if I don't, that could be something that very much well can harm me, something I don't need to step in. And God is saying, okay, I've given you the ability to understand that prayer works. So what are you gonna do? But that family, my family would have kept me from doing what I'm doing right now. My family has always told me, like, this podcast and what I'm doing, they kept telling me nobody wanted to hear anything I wanted to say. What I was talking about doesn't make sense. But then when I had to understand what I was talking about was actually setting me free from the bondage and the programming that they had instilled in all of us, which was religion.
Uh-huh.
So, talking to my other sisterhood, my sisters that I met at a teenage, well, early younger age, we talk about a lot of this, and we all agree, what, this stuff wasn't right. So we do our own research, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing when you have those people that can come from your past
Uh-huh.
and change with you, because the majority of the people that came from my past, I lost them. There was only three. My three
Oh.
was only the three, but everybody else I had to let go. And sad to say, a lot of them is family too. But I
Uh-huh.
lost a lot of them.
Yeah. But for me, I will say that I come from a big family. It was 15 of us, 10 boys, 5 girls. My family, we've always been close. I mean, there's not one of my siblings that I can't go to if I need to. But I just don't. First of all, I really don't need to. Then secondly, I don't. If I can't figure it out, because I always tell myself, "Girl, you was built for this." There, you know, Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a God. So I always lean on Him first and foremost, and then sometimes He gives us resources. Sometimes He gives us people. Sometimes He put it in our pathway, and it helps that way. But for my family, I'm telling you, there's not one that I can call on that wouldn't come in a hurry. But I just don't go to them like that. Like I said, if I really found myself where the rubber meets the road, I can call them. I can call them, and I know they're coming. But I lean more on I say my girls, because we go through, we've been through some stuff, and I got two of them that I can just, we sit down and we grind and we talk about everything life threw at us, everything we've been through. Then I have one, we on a spiritual level. We just, it's all spiritual, no faking and shaking, no cussing, no none of this. It's this. Lean on God. Do this. God got you. He didn't bring you this for. You already know the word because you preach the word. So don't come to me with that because I already know you know. So yeah, and I got him. We all talk on those levels. So I would go to him if I really had to before I was family, because mainly I'm not going for monetary reasons. I'm going for more like advice, or just somebody to vent to hear me, and they can just sit there and just listen to me vent all day without judging me or saying, "Girl, quit. Girl, stop. Girl, you know better." To just listen, and we can vent to each other about it. And hey, at the end of the day, before we leave, you know what to do. You call on that man up there. You know that like that. And so I know that even with my siblings, we are close. My mom raised us to be close. It's 15, so we were all stair steps. So we're close knit. And she used to tell us all the time, one day I'm gonna be gone. Y'all better be close to each other. Y'all better get close. Quit fighting. Quit arguing. Don't do all that stuff. And so it's kind of been instilled in us that we see each other, we love each other, we have fun, we keep it moving. Always keeping family traditions going. Always holidays, everything. We're still doing everything that we did when Mama was here. We haven't changed nothing, and I won't let it change. As long as I'm here, I'm gonna keep it going. So I try to do that because I know that's what my mother wanted. And so
Hmm.
every time I'm calling, I'm texting everybody, hey, we doing this day. Let's put it together. Everybody come here. We're gonna bring food. We're gonna have it. We're gonna still have Easter. We're gonna still have Mother's Day. We're gonna still have Thanksgiving. We're gonna still have Christmas. We're gonna still have the New Year. We're gonna still do the holidays, the things that we did when our mother was with us. So
And
I
that's
don't let
what
that
we do.
change. I won't let that change. As long as I'm alive, I won't let it change. And I feel like if something happened to me, they're gonna keep it going because they know that's what we do. And
Hmm.
so yeah, we always around each other. And even when it's not a holiday, you might see me come down there, or they up this way. We up here. Huh? Okay, I'll find y'all. Whatever, we do things. Like me and my brother was talking the other day. We trying to get tickets together. We're gonna go see Rangers. Just things we try to keep going on
Hmm.
because we're family.
Hmm.
And we ain't no different than the next family. We have our moments where we talk to each other crazy, hang up on one another. But it's over with after that. It ain't like I'm holding no
See,
grudge and I won't talk to you forever. No, we don't do it like that. So yeah.
that goes to being authentically you.
Yes,
Be who
exactly.
you are.
Exactly.
There's so many people in families that are shamed of the lifestyle that they are living, or shame the way that they are living. Well, how can you be shamed and hide from people that love you, and you do all this stuff in front of God? And that's what I don't get with people. And it's like, oh, I can't let them see me like this. But God sees you like that every day.
Yeah.
God sees what you're doing every single moment, every
Right.
single nanosecond, every movement, everything that we as people do.
Right.
God sees it. But we will be shameful and will not go around family or
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
because, I mean, no, I don't like the way my hair looks. I got to get my hair done. Oh, well, no, I broke a nail last week. I got to go get my nails fixed before I go. Oh, well, no, I might be, too overweight. I got to go on a diet because I hadn't seen this friend in 25 years. And well, why do we worry about that? And it's about like how you saying earlier. It's all about love. Because when you love someone unconditionally, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
It does not matter because God loves us. Jesus Christ loves us unconditionally. So we are supposed to do the same thing. But we always want to put this, oh, well, this and that, and we gotta stop. We gotta
Yep.
stop.
Yep.
We just have to meet people right where they are,
They're where they are. That's
and
the
we
key.
have to learn. We need to become authentically us. You need to become authentically you yourself,
Mhm.
whoever God called you to be. Because as long as we keep listening to people, I would now if it were you, I wouldn't. Well, you should. Well,
Yeah.
would you really that if it were me, would you really do it? And then 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say, well, no. Well, why are you telling me to do it? If you
Right.
won't,
Right.
why are you telling me to do it? Because
Hmm.
fear. So now you want me to go out there, and I'm gonna tell you, when other people tell you what to do, it's not gonna work because you are not them. And
Exactly.
I don't know why people that keep saying, "Oh, well, you know what? It didn't work for me." You are taking advice from somebody else, and they're telling you what they would do with their life, but you are not them, and it's not gonna work.
Exactly. Exactly. Now that's why, like you said, you got to be authentically you. You got to be you and you only. Because if you change for people, then it may not be good for you. Change is good, but it's got to be for you. It can't be for somebody else. Well, I'm gonna change just because they said I look like this, or just because they said I need to wear these kind of clothes, or I need to act like this, or I need to stop cussing so much, or I need to stop drinking, or whatever it is. If you change for that person, then every time you change for somebody else, you go back to do something else. You're going back to doing something else, and it may not be the same thing, maybe a different thing, but you steady constantly doing things differently, and you're gonna find yourself losing who you really are because you're steady trying to put on these masks, you're trying to put on these hats, you're trying to put on all these different yous, and there's only one you, and you have to be the you that God has called you to be. Because if I try to be you, I'm not gonna make it. If you try to be me, you're not gonna make it, because we're different. We may
Mm,
be the same people, same, but we're also different. And there's no two people alike. God knew what He was doing when He made us all. So when we sit here and try to act like somebody else or be somebody else, fake it and all that, it don't work. But sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it. But if you're gonna do that, you better do it, and you better make sure you got it to the T. You gotta dot every I and
yeah,
cross every T, because I'm like Two Chainz say, I'm different, you're different. We gonna do some different things. Some things that you may let go by, that I just eggs me. It just drives me crazy. Where it just don't may not even bother you. And that's the way it is in life. Everything that's done in life is not gonna please us, but we have to be authentic on everything, and we just got to be completely knowing who we are, whose we are at all times, because the enemy wants confusion. Then that's what they try to do. The enemy tries to confuse us every day on who we are, whose we are, why we get up every morning and come to work, why we get on our knees and pray God, why do we go to church, why do we practice religion, why do we practice rituals, why do we try to have a relationship with somebody we can't ever see. How can you talk to God when you ain't never seen? How can God have a son he's never had a wife? All these things people try to put in your head, and if you don't be who you are and understand what you need to understand for yourself, then you're gonna be confused in this life until the day you die. So yeah, we have to be authentic and uniquely ourselves, because God made us. We are His creatures. We are in His image, the way He made us, and that's the life that we should be possessing. Is to try to be as complete as God has called us to be. And when we fell short of that, when we fall short and fail at that, then we need to go back to the drawing board and just keep on practicing what we know and know how to do until we get it right. And no, we'll never have all the answers, but some things are better than no things. That's how I look
Absolutely.
at it.
Absolutely. I do agree. I
Yep.
do agree with that. And wow, that was powerful. And I want to thank you for that. Yeah,
It
I
is.
want to thank
It's
you for
just the way it
that.
is.
Authentically you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, and I know we got to get ready to get out of here.
Mhm.
There's a lot of times when I thought that I was maybe being authentically me, but that's not what I was doing. I was listening to what they wanted me to do because the words, well, the words that was instilled in me, again, the programming, trying to make them happy, them being the family that I came from. And that's why when I hear people nowadays say, "Oh, Swalo, I'm proud of you," that really eggs my spirit. It does, because I've seen people, the younger adults, I've seen them in their life because they could not make people proud. They thought they were just that messed up to where they were trying to make people proud instead of making themselves in Jesus Christ proud.
Right, right.
So that's why I don't like that word, proud. So, but if you're gonna make someone proud before we get out of here, if you want to try to make someone proud, make yourself proud, make God proud, make Jesus
Right,
proud, whomever you want to believe in. As long as we keep trying to prove and make other people proud of us, we will keep going around that hamster wheel, around over and over and over again. That's not how life is supposed to be.
right,
It's not supposed to be going around in confusion. We're supposed to be able to enjoy it peacefully, humbly, and lovingly, unconditional. I'm gonna say it one more time: unconditional love.
that's it.
You
That's it.
meet people right where they are, love them, and say, you know what? All right, whenever you get ready, it's your turn. We cannot force people, and we got to stop trying to make people ready when we want them to be. We have
Right,
to wait until they're ready. So give them the seeds, plant the seeds. Whenever they're ready to use the seeds, they'll use them. Stop trying to force what you want onto people. All right, Miss Lisa, you want to tell people how to get your book and your closing words?
okay, again, go to Amazon.com, type in From Dope to Doctor, Dr. Lisa Dunn, My Life Journey. $20. That's all it takes to get that book, and I guarantee you it would change your life. And like I said before, if you have never been on drugs, you probably know somebody who has. And if just because that, you need to get that book for that person. Somebody you may know that's still out there. You need to get that book for that person. What does $20 cost you if you can help save a soul and help them get themselves together so they can get on the right path, in the same path that you're on, in the right way? So go get the book on Amazon.com. Thank you very much.
All right, y'all. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in, being with us, and y'all go ahead, subscribe, share, whatever, because we really need more subscribers so we can
Yes.
get out there and do have the shorts going on, and we can go live because summertime's coming, road trips coming. It's time for me to start getting out. So again, love you out of life on purpose for your purpose. It's early enough to get out and work your purpose. And until we meet again, y'all stay safe.
Peace. All right, lady.